What we're going to be covering in this video is the essential differences in between the Norco sight, fluid, and optic. Let's hop in. So what we're going to look at now is going to be the longest travel bike out of the three we're going to be doing today. And this is going to be the Norco Sight A3 in the blue and black colorway. So the A3 is going to be the entry level to the Sight lineup. But what's going to set the Sight apart from the other two in the lineup is going to be primarily the travel on it. So this is going to have 160 millimeters in the front, 150 millimeters in the rear. But what's nice regardless across the entire lineup of the three bikes tonight is they're all going to come with the ride-aligned suspension technology, which Norco has patented and has been well loved by just about everybody. This bike is going to be designed to take those impacts, to take those jumps, to take those roots, to really be pushed. What's nice too with the Sight, sets it apart, is going to be the head angle. So it's going to have a 64-degree head angle. So what that translates to is it's going to have a little bit more of a slacker cockpit. So you're going to be a little bit more towards the rear of the bike, a little bit more nimble on the bike, just so you're going to be able to throw your weight around, move the bike, and the bike won't be moving you as much. Across the entire spec line of the Sight, it's going to come with 4 piston brakes, which is essential when you're going to be barreling down the hill on this thing. It also is going to come with the 12-speed drivetrain. On this one, it's going to be the SX Eagle, but that changes. And all of them come stock with a dropper as well, which is going to be essential for that all-mountain riding. Now we're going to be looking at the Norco Fluid FS4 in this bright red color, which just is super nice with tons of flake in it. So let's hop into it. What makes the Fluid a little bit different is, let's start with the suspension. So these are going to come stock with 140 mils up front and 130 in the rear. It's also going to have a 65-degree head angle, which is going to set it apart from the Sight. So it's going to be a little bit more trail oriented. It's going to be a lot better on those climbs, but it's not going to be as sturdy as the Sight and the descents. These are also going to kind of vary in what they come spec'd with when you go in between the aluminum and the carbon variants. So, but regardless of across the entire platform, they're all going to come standard with the 4-piston brakes and a 12-speed drivetrain, which is going to be essential for just about any trail riding. It's also going to come with droppers across the lineup, which, again, is going to be important for everything. This is also, to touch on it finally, it's going to also come with the ride-aligned suspension, which is a key platform for Norco's lineup. Now this bike can be geared for a little bit of a mix of people. This could be your first full suspension. The FS4 makes a great first bike just because of the bang for your buck and what you're getting for it. It's going to be able to kind of ride whatever trail you need it to. It's going to be able to ascend, descend, do anything in between with pretty much ease, and it's just a great all-around bike. And then in their carbon lineups, it's going to get even better with the specs of everything. It's also won a couple awards in both the Pink Bike Value Bike of the Year award and then Vital Mountain Bikes Bike of the Year award. So now that the Fluid's done, let's get on to the Optic. So now we're going to be looking at the Norco Optic, and what we got here is going to be the C3. So this is going to be the carbon version. And what sets the Optic apart is going to be mostly the suspension on it. So this is only going to have 140 millimeters up front, and then it's going to drop down to a 125 in the rear. So what that's going to translate to is it's going to be kind of in this new category of bikes of almost a backcountry kind of riding, or even more of that trail kind of overall setting. So it's going to be a lot more nimble than a higher travel bike in the rear, but it's still going to be able to kind of take that abuse with having the piggyback shock on there. It's going to have the same 65-degree head angle that's featured on the Fluid, and again, it's going to have the same ride-aligned suspension technology. Across the entire lineup, there's going to come standard with the 4-piston brakes, dropper post, and the 12-speed drivetrain. The Optic is going to be more or less made for somebody who wants to rip through the trails. They want to be fast, they want to be agile, they want to make sure they're able to move the bike and the bike doesn't really pull them. They want to be able to assert themselves in the turns, over logs, over obstacles in the air. It's not going to be the most smooth and plush ride like some of the other ones, but it's going to be a fast ride. So in summary, the Optic is going to be made primarily for speed. This is going to be geared more or less for somebody who's already been riding, already kind of knows their riding style, and it's going to be able to assert themselves on the trail. So that's going to summarize most of the basic differences in between these three bikes. But best way to kind of figure out what bike is going to fit your riding style and where you are located is by going to your local bike shop, talking to them about the trails and what bike will excel where you are. If you're in the Wilmington area, we'd be happy to help you out. We are a Norco dealer, so we'd be able to walk you through the entire spec sheet, lineups, and any future products coming out. If you have any 2 cents on the topics, and if you've ridden the bikes and you thought something different, please leave it in the comments. But make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks.